Hello, hello. Welcome back to another live. Today, I'm going to be talking about the best way to hit your protein goals. So, if you know you're under eating total calories or your protein, this is the live for you. So, make sure that if you're watching the replay, put replay in the comments so that I can know that you watched my Facebook group. Y'all, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to. No, it's actually working. It's working in my Facebook group. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, cool. Amazing. I think it's working. Um, so if you can see this, just say hello to me in the comments. Okay, just say hello to me in the comments. Um, Let me make sure that I'm live at my Facebook page. I have some announcements while I'm doing this. Okay, so today is Monday. Happy MLK Day. I don't watch the news anyway, but I'm definitely staying away from that today. I'll just say Happy MLK Day. Um, I have a couple of great announcements about the Fit Figure formula. For one, tomorrow is the last day for you to join the formula with the guarantee. So I extended the January enrollment, which means that you can coach with me. I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to walk with you and hold your hand through losing your next 20 pounds, even if it takes longer than the first 16 weeks. So lose 20 pounds, or I coach you till you do. So if you're a person who has been hesitant because you don't want to waste your money, you don't know if you're going to show up, you don't know, there's a lot of fear there. This takes that all away because this is a no fail, no mistake offer. Like, I am going to help you. So it doesn't matter how long it takes you to lose the 20 pounds. I'm going to be walking with you hand in hand in order to do that. So tomorrow's the last day to join. And that, I don't mean apply, but join by tomorrow, end of day. So I've had a lot of DMs about this. If you have any questions, straight to my DMs. If you know you've been watching me for a while, because a few of you who have been following me for a long time are now messaging me, you can either just DM me and I can give you the details and the link and you can sign up. Or if you do want to book an interest call, you can still book an interest call and we will talk about it on the call. I don't know how much space on my calendar I have. So make sure that if you want a call, that you book the call. I'll probably do that now. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can do that with the link that is pinned in the comments. So let's see. Anything else? Fit Figure Formula merch. Check out the store. You can go to my bio and the link is there if you would like to purchase any merch. Another announcement, January 29th, 7 p.m. CST. Mark your calendars. I'm going to be doing a vision board, not a vision board, a vision setting party. So this means that this is the conversation that you need to be having with yourself before you start doing vision boards. This is the deep work to get clarity on what you want, who you want to be, who you'll need to be to create your goals, how you want to feel during 2025. And so I'm going to be doing this live on Zoom. And what I've decided to do, I'm going to be doing some sort of workshop or some sort of challenge or something every month. And that's what it's going to be for this month. If it's going to be on Zoom, it's going to be one link, and I'm going to use that same link all year long for all free workshops. So I'm going to be dropping that link in my Facebook group. So make sure you're in my Facebook group in order to get that link, and or you are in on my email list. Let me turn my phone off. Or you're on my email list. So I'm going to be sending out the Zoom link there as well. Okay. So if you have questions about that, let me know. I did a live yesterday about self-love. I really think there was a good one. If you struggle with that, scroll down on my page or on the Facebook group and listen to that. It'll also be a podcast episode as well. But I'm going to be doing a January self-love workshop that I'm really excited about. So I'm just letting y'all know in advance. So get your mind ready to come and enjoy those. So today I'm going to be talking about the best way for you to get your protein in. And why is this important? Because if you are on a fat loss journey, right, and we're we're trying to lose fat here. We're not just trying to lose weight and see the scale go down necessarily. We want to lose fat specifically. If you want to lose fat, we get calories from three ways: protein, carbs, fat. And these are what make up your calories. And we don't want our body, when we're eating in a calorie deficit, we don't want our body to metabolize our muscle during the fat loss phase. So we want to give it enough protein, and we back up off of the carbs and the fat a little bit to take some calories away. We want to keep that protein high. So then when you go into a maintenance phase or even a muscle building phase, the two macros that you usually increase are your fat and your carbohydrates, and your protein relatively stays similar. It might change a little bit if you were really far away from your goals before, but it's really important that you get that protein in. So I'm gonna give you some tips on how to plan your plate. And this is exactly what I teach my clients inside of the Fit Figure formula. I make it really simple. We take bite-sized steps in order for you to make this sustainable. It's the beginning of the year, and I don't want you to approach a lifestyle like a challenge, because challenges are short for a reason. They're unsustainable. So in the formula, I take you step by step, hand in hand, every single day. I'm in your back pocket, and I tell you exactly what to do. When we make small changes, but by the end of 16 weeks, you're going to totally understand your nutrition and how to put together your own plan. I hate making meal plans. Y'all don't follow meal plans. When I have given people meal plans in the past, they don't follow them, and you do all this work and no one follows them. So I hate making meal plans, but I will teach you how to create your own so that you do not have to lean on anyone else to hit your protein goals, to lose weight, to build muscle, any of that. You're going to be completely clear on what that looks like. So I'm going to give you some tips today. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. Dang, I thought this was going live in my Facebook group. I don't know what happened. If you have questions about what I'm talking about today, getting in enough protein, if you have a struggle in terms of eating enough, or if the tips that I cover don't quite handle your specific problem, put them in the chat or DM me and I can help you out. All right. So, hey, Angela. All right. So, number one, setting a goal. So how do we know that we're even hitting our protein or not if we're not like tracking it, right? And we'll talk about tracking in a minute, because I know tracking sucks and y'all are really inconsistent at tracking, because tracking sucks. And I'm going to tell you what I do with my clients in the formula so that we don't have to track. But number one, we have to have a goal. And what I see typically when I have clients come in, they're typically getting around 85-ish, under 100 grams of protein for sure. So sometimes people will say, I'm under eating protein, and you probably are, not for general health. For general health, you're probably eating enough protein. But in order to maximize like body composition, you're probably under eating protein. And there's no one right number. And this is one thing that we're trying to get it right, but we get it wrong, because we think that there's a right number or a right diet, and there's not a right diet or number for protein. There's a range that could work, and it depends on your individual goals, your individual skill set to hit the protein goal, because there's no point in setting a goal that you have no skills to hit. Supplementation and your willingness or not to supplement, and the diet that you're on. So if I've had like vegan clients before or vegetarian clients, I usually err on the side of a little bit less, just because it's a little bit harder. You have to eat more volume of food or supplement a little bit more. So there's no one right number, but having a number is helpful, right? And so how do you pick that number? Well, as always, it kind of depends, but typically it is somewhere between zero point 0.6 to 1 gram of protein per pound, okay, of body weight. So let's say, I'm gonna get my calculator out. Let's say that I have a client who weighs 200 pounds, right? And I will multiply, this isn't actually how I do it, but this is how y'all can do it. 200 times 0.6, that would be 120 grams of protein. Okay. If I did that same weight, 200 times 0.7, that would be 140 grams of protein. If I did that same weight, 200 times 0.8, that would be 160. I'm going to do the same thing with 0.9. It's 180 grams of protein. And of course, 1 gram of protein per pound is 200 grams of protein. Okay. So if you want to lose weight, I would typically, if you're far away from your goal, like if you have a lot of weight to lose in order to get to your goal, I would err on the side of 0.6, 0.7 on the lower end. As you get closer to your goal, you may want to bump that up a little bit to 0.7, 0.8, okay? 0.9-ish, depending on your skill set. So again, there's no one right number. And the way that I calculate my clients, and all of this is individualized. I have a spreadsheet that already has all of the formulas in there, and I choose based on what I've seen in terms of their current tracking, because I don't give them numbers week 1. I think I give them numbers like week 4 or 5. So we work on habits first, but I use my degree, my skill set to determine what I think their number needs to be. Now, if you're not joining the formula, or if you're trying to do this on your own, you can use this spectrum and start low and start to slowly increase. You could do that. Okay. So anywhere between 0.6 and 1, err on the lower end at first, and then you have to practice hitting this number. Okay. Now, when you're practicing hitting this number, we have to also keep in mind the perspective of total calories, because if you're hitting your protein goal, but you're still overeating all the other macros, you're going to be over on calories, and that won't produce fat loss, right? So you just want to make sure that we're keeping in mind, and this is what I do with my clients. I have them hit or exceed their protein goal and then be within 100 calories of the calorie goal that I give them. So this allows them to let their fat and their carbohydrates flex. So I don't have them hit all 3 macro numbers. I don't know if y'all have ever tracked your food in MyFitnessPal and tried to hit the calories, the protein, the carbs, and the fat. That's kind of hard. So what we do is, the protein is the most important macronutrient for body composition. So I just want them to hit or exceed that. And then we control the other 2 ways that we get calories, which are our fat and carbs, by just controlling the calories. Because if you go over on calories, or if you go over too much on the carbs or the fat, you'll be over on the calories, because that's where the calories come from. Hopefully y'all are following me. Are y'all getting this? Let me know in the comments. Is this making sense? Hopefully so. Oh no, that's okay, Angela. You're good. Okay. Let me know if that made sense. So I have my clients just hit those 2 goals. It makes it so much easier and more flexible in order to plan out their food. Okay. So you have picked a number somewhere between 0.6 and 1 gram of protein per pound. And now we have to practice hitting that goal, keeping in mind our total calories, right? But that's another training. So when we eat and when we plan our foods, whether or not you're planning in MyFitnessPal and getting all, nitty gritty with the numbers, or if you're just like planning out your week on a with a pencil and a piece of paper, plan your meals around your protein source. So think about what's the protein source that I'm going to have, and then think about the sides and the drink maybe that you might have. So I know a lot of people will just track as they go, meaning I'm going to eat an egg and then I put it into my fitness pal or whatever tracking device that you're using. I eat oatmeal and I put it in. Now, if you do not have the skill set that I'm teaching today and that I go in depth with and help you implement inside the formula, you're going to get to the end of the day. You're going to be under on protein, over on calories, and frustrated because you're trying to actually hit the carbs and the fat and they're off as well. When you get to the end of the day, there's nothing you can do. You already ate that stuff, right? And then you have spent your time in MyFitnessPal putting this stuff in, and it's not going to help you reach your goals because your numbers are way off. Then you start over the next day and you do it all over again. And it's like, no wonder you're not keeping up with that because you're not hitting the right numbers, even though you're tracking, right? So understanding how to pre-plan. This is, for me, the gold standard of being able to hit your goals without having to track every day. If you go into MyFitnessPal, and this is what I have, I'm giving y'all all the tea, okay? Because the implementation is what my clients pay for. You really can't beat implementation. So the information is free. So what I have my clients do is go into the desktop version of MyFitnessPal, myfitnesspal.com. And I have them put in their food and plan out their meals, what they're going to eat for the week. And I say no more than 3 complete days and just have one left over for each one of those. That gets you to 6 days, flex the 7th day. So they go into MyFitnessPal and we are pre-planning our meals. Okay. And so this way, if I'm going to be off, I can see it clearly because I can put in my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, my snack, and I can see, oh, I'm going to be off. And then I can make changes based on my goals, and I can change the quantities. I can swap out, a higher fat option for a lower fat option to reduce the calories if I'm over on calories. I can swap out my regular yogurt for Greek yogurt if I'm a little bit under on my protein, and I can fix the errors before I even go grocery shopping to get the stuff. And then I can just eat what I plan. And now I hit my macros every day without having to be in MyFitnessPal every day. Okay. And so being able to do this and your brain actually doing this work is so valuable because we're eating a lot of the same foods. We have a lot of the same patterns, and we can save those meals that we use all the time. And different tricks and hacks that I've taught my clients, you can literally plan your meals in just a few minutes, literally a few minutes. So I don't like to think of meal planning as I'm creating a plan for today. I don't want to plan for today and then tomorrow have to start from scratch again. I want to plan, and I want to build a system that I can reuse again and again, right? Like that's what I want to do. So that is what I teach my clients inside the formula. Okay. So we have picked a number. We have started pre-planning in MyFitnessPal. This is the best way to hit your macros. This is a skill that you learn, and the more that you practice it, the better that you'll get at it. And so what kind of foods are we going to be looking at in terms of like hitting your protein goal? So first of all, hold on. Let me make sure that y'all don't have any questions. Drop questions, you guys. If you have any, and let me know if this is making sense. Somebody do me a favor and share this. If you're in my Facebook group, share this to my group. I think you can do that. Or just share it in general if this has been helpful. But if you are in my group, try to share it to my group because I literally cannot go live in my group, which is kind of frustrating. But okay, so What do you want to put on your plate? So obviously any kind of meat, right? Chicken, turkey, beef, fish, deer, right? Like any kind of animal flesh, shrimp is going to be a good source of protein. What do I mean by good source of protein? I really mean two things. First, I mean that it's going to have a lot of protein for the volume. And then I also mean that, just to get a little sciencey on y'all. Okay, so protein is made up of amino acids, and protein from animal sources are complete proteins. That means that all 20 of the amino acids that make up different types of proteins are in animal sources of protein. So you're going to get all of the amino acids, and you're going to not have to eat so much volume in order to get it. So to hit your protein goal. Now, anywhere between like 4 to 6 ounces of meat at lunch and dinner is going to give you anywhere between like 20 and 35 grams of protein. And so this makes hitting your per meal protein goal really easy and simple if you're a meat eater. Okay. So I think the problem comes in mostly at breakfast and snacks. That's when y'all have the biggest issue with actually hitting your protein goals, is at breakfast and snacks. So you got to come up with a plan, and I help my clients through this. So some of y'all may have heard me talk about my smoked salmon in the morning. So my smoked salmon with avocado toast, and I put it on Killer Dave's bread, which has a little bit more protein in it. Um, you might have heard me talk about mixing cottage cheese in with my eggs, or using more egg whites versus like just whole eggs, because the protein is in the egg white. So those are some little hacks that you can think about, but you want to build your meals around your protein source, and meat is just like the easiest per volume to do that. Okay. And the reason why, I'm gonna go back to the pre-planning because I missed a point. When you pre-plan, obviously you can hit your goals every single day without having to track every day. But if for some reason you don't pre-plan, you can track much easier, because now you know your per meal goals. And now I can take my total calories or my total protein that I want to hit, and I'm going to divide that by the number of meals that I have throughout the day and snacks. So if I'm going to eat 3 meals and a snack, I can divide that up by 4. And I can say, okay, if I roughly have, let's just say I'm having 3 meals and my goal is 1,500 calories, just to make it easy. I know that I need about 500 per meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, to be around my correct calorie goal. And then do the same thing with your protein. Divide it by how many meals and snacks you're going to eat. That way, when you are tracking, you know at breakfast if you're going to hit your goal or not. Because if your per meal goal for protein is 30 grams and you only got 15 at breakfast, you know I'm going to be short, or I'm going to have to make that up somewhere. Makes it much easier, and you're not wasting your time getting to the end of the day and not being able to do anything about it. Okay. Y'all let me know if this is making sense. So, other foods that you can be eating besides meat, right? Because that's the easiest. But I know some people are like, I can't eat that much meat. Like, I'm tired of eating meat. So, egg whites, cottage cheese, like putting that in eggs. One of my clients was putting it in her spaghetti sauce, and she liked that. Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt. This is, my clients know that's my favorite Greek yogurt. Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt. Black beans. So I've recently, you know how when you do like bowls, Buddha bowls or burrito bowls, and they have like the rice. I'm not a rice fan, but when I do buy rice, I try to buy rice that has been like has added protein in it, or just do black beans instead. That's my preference. So if you are a bean person, add more beans. This is going to help you with your fiber goal, and it's going to help you with your protein goal. Of course, you can do things like Fairlife protein shakes. You can do Quest chips that have 20 grams of protein per chip bag. Tuna packs, super easy. That's like an easy little snack. I think they have at least 16 to 18 grams of protein per tuna pack. So if you have two of those, like that is over 30 grams of protein. If you use things like Killer Dave's bread that has a little bit more protein, or look for pasta that has more. I know Banza is a brand that I've used before where it's pasta, but it is fortified with protein. So you're not just having to eat just meat. You can, use some of those items that I just mentioned. Strive beef jerky is one of my favorite for having a snack. So imagine having like Strive beef jerky and a tuna sandwich with a small like chocolate milk. Like that's probably 35 grams of protein at least. So it's actually simple to get your protein. You just have to actually put it in, look at the numbers. When you go to the grocery store, compare brands and look and see what has the most. Now, you want to look at that, but of course, we want to look at it holistically as well. Like, how much added sugar does this have? How many like added ingredients and preservatives and things like that? So, things like your beans are going to be a good option just because, like, it's a whole food. Um, Salmon, shrimp as well. Okay. So those are some options to think about when you are planning. Remember to plan your meals based on your protein goals and then use those additives like the Banza pasta, like they have like protein oatmeal now, um, the Killer Dave's bread, those supplemental things. Look for the ones that have more protein that can help to add and get to your protein goal pretty quickly. Okay. And again, if you are pre planning, you'll know this ahead of time. If you're tracking, but you have the skill and know how to pre plan, you can do your per meal goals, and that's going to help you hit your goals way easier and not get to the end of the day and not be able to do anything about the fact that your numbers are all over the place. Okay. Let me check the chat real quick and let me see if there's any questions. Will I be able to hear this again? So all these will sink in. Yeah, I'm going to leave this up on my page and I'm going to leave it up in the Facebook group, or I'll have to share it, I think. But yeah, this will be a replay. It'll also be on the podcast if you want to check out the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I have a ton of these. Well, I think I'm on episode like 41-ish of the podcast if you want to check that out. So yes, it will be available. All right. So I hope this was helpful. So we want to pick a number. We want to plan our meals and pre-plan them with protein in mind. We want to pick those high protein items and we want to keep our total calories in perspective. We want to understand that if we have to track, we need to be looking at our per meal goals. And all of this stuff is much easier understood when you actually implement it, when you practice. And the way that I teach it is very step by step. We just worry about breakfast week 1. Week 2 is just about lunch. And week 3 is just about dinner and snacks. And then we start putting together whole days where we're trying to actually hit a number. So the slow way is the short way. A lot of y'all are trying to take shortcuts and just do a diet or just cut out a meal time or just cut out carbs. But you end up having to redo the journey because you actually don't want to live like that. If you take this journey step by step and you take it slow, it'll actually get you there faster and more sustainably than trying to do another fad diet. And the thing is, even with like intermittent fasting, I've said this before, you still have to know what are you eating during your window. And just because you're eating mindfully does not mean that you're eating for your goals. Just because you're eating protein doesn't mean that you're automatically building muscle. Just because you are eating more healthy and trying to make more, informed choices does not mean that you're actually hitting your goals sustainably enough to see the results, right? So, wouldn't you like more certainty instead of just guessing or just dieting to lose weight and then gaining it back because you just cut out breakfast, but you actually love breakfast and you don't know how to incorporate that into your lifestyle? Inside the Fit Figure formula, you're going to actually understand your nutrition. So this gives you more freedom to eat what you would like. We don't save treats until the weekend. There's no such thing as a treat day. I'm going to implement my treats in foods that I like. I'm going to pace myself. I'm going to pick one new recipe per week. And I'm going to eat foods that I actually enjoy so this doesn't feel like I'm dieting and it doesn't feel like I need a break. You shouldn't have to need a break. Okay. You're going to eat every day anyway. So I'm going to help you build a system and build a lifestyle. And again, if you're doing this before Tuesday, I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to walk you through your next 20 pounds, or I'm going to coach you until you do. So if you don't lose 20 pounds in the first 16 weeks, that's totally fine. I'm going to keep coaching you until you lose those 20 pounds. So this is a no fail mission. You cannot mess this up. If this sounds like something that the certainty that you've been looking for to feel more confident about moving forward inside the formula, you need to be running to my DMs and asking, how can I apply? Because after tomorrow, that offer will not be on the table anymore. So I want to help you in your 2025. I'm very excited. Don't forget about tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but don't forget about January 29th. I'm having the vision setting party, and I want to help you get more clarity on your 2025. February is going to be the self-love workshop, and I'm excited to help you with that too. So you guys, let me know if you have any questions. Slide into my DMs or just go to my profile and you can find the link to apply on Facebook. The link is also pinned in the comments so that you can apply to work with me inside of the formula. I hope this was helpful, y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.